He's like, oh, I'm returning this board to Gage. And I was like, oh, that's a cool board. Where'd you get it? And he's like, oh, we won it at a raffle. And then we started talking about the raffle. He's like, yeah, his parents have this strategy where they spend $200 on raffle tickets and they always win a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, I've used that strategy. It works every time.
You are the well-being wisdom warrior, the heartfelt healer,
the luminary leader,
the health harbinger,
the shaman, the witch, the guru,
the guide of humanity to an embodied, enlightened future.
Welcome to the Well Pro Show, the podcast for wellness pros.
Where your wellness lifestyle is your core leadership strategy.
Experience the camaraderie of collaborative colleagues.
Where your job as a wellness pro is to guide the transformation.
You are the resistance, the future, the way forward.
You are the community counselor, the change maker.
The Well Pro Show, brought to you by futurist thought leader Kate Stillman and the team at Wellness Pro Academy. Made for you, by us.
Hello, everyone. I'm here with Donna O'Toole, who helps people raise their profile and grow their business with awards. So I ran across Donna's work via Danielle Priestley advocating for her book, Win. And I heard about it, and then I got it on Audible like 2 seconds later, and then I listened to the whole thing, and then I reached out to Donna and I said, I'd love to talk to you about this, especially for our Wellness Pro community, which is global, because it's not something that I think, particularly as holistic wellness pros, we tend to just do our work, I think, quietly, more than like really be more attention seeking. And therefore we might be actually missing out. And I would say the world might be missing out on some of the really, really great work that's done by holistic wellness pros. So let me just talk about you for a second, and then we'll dive into some questions. So Dawn is an award-winning entrepreneur and best-selling author. She's the founder of August Recognition, which is a global awards agency and part of the Dent Global Group, which I just joined, and I'm super excited to be working with Dent in 2024. And Dent helps entrepreneurs stand out, scale up, and make a positive difference. So you're also named as one of the world's top 25 customer experience influencers, which I really want to dive into that. And you're an award-winning national and international awards judge. So not only do you help people get awards, but you also judge awards, which gives you both the inside out and outside in perspective, which is so, so unusual. And you've helped hundreds of businesses, brands, entrepreneurs, and leaders raise their profile by achieving valuable awards and recognition for their achievements. So yay, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to talk to you about all things awards. And I'm curious what comes up when I just start talking about, thought leaders in the more holistic wellness pro world, and where your mind goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with what you were saying earlier, actually. I think it's very easy to be getting on with your own work kind of quietly and thinking, well, I'm doing a good job, and you know that you're looking after your customers really well, you're training people, you're doing all the good stuff, but actually you don't really take a step back to look at, well, are you getting any recognition for that? And if you were, could that reach more people actually? Could you do more good with the good that you're already doing if you could kind of widen that reach? So we do tend to find, in general, in the awards industry, that us entrepreneurs find it quite hard to put ourselves forward for awards. You're kind of always waiting for it to just fall from the sky somehow.
Yeah, I talk a lot about this in terms of like crowning yourself. Like there's this, we're often waiting, exactly like you said, waiting for something to fall from the sky, or waiting for someone else to give us permission to talk about our work, or to stand out, or give ourselves permission to really create what we want to create. And I'm really curious where you go with, especially some of the more micro wellness entrepreneurs who are doing amazing work in their communities, and where they might start to look for awards just on a community or a more local or regional level.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'd say in the last couple of years, well, certainly since the pandemic, I think the kind of wellness industry as a whole has come further into the business awards arena than it has ever been before. So there's quite a lot of awards now that have been launched around well-being. Now, often when you're sort of an individual working with individuals, it can be hard to say, because you see all these awards out there in the world that are recognizing brand names that you know, for example, or big names, and you think, oh, well, I can't compete with that. But actually, there's a lot of awards out there already for individuals who are running their own business. And it doesn't really matter on what level you're working. It doesn't matter if you're just working locally or in a particular region. It's not really relevant to whether you're going to win that award unless you're going for a regional award. What's relevant and what all awards judges are looking for in any competition of any level is impact. So it's what is the change that you're making in the world? What is the impact that you're having on someone else? Now, I'm sure I've worked with wellness coaches and I've worked with all sorts of different types of coaches, and it usually you're having a really good impact. You know, you've got great case studies, you've got human impact that you can talk about, and that is the thing that resonates really well with awards judges. So actually thinking, like, for your audience, I'd say don't kind of worry too much about how big your business is or where it is. Think more about what's the impact that I've had on my clients. So what have I changed for the better is kind of number one question. And number two question is, how can I prove it? So that's the difference. So what's the impact and how can you prove that that impact is happening? Now that can be with like case studies and testimonials and things like that. The other thing that you can do, and I really encourage everyone to do this, is to have a way of measuring achievement with your own customers and measuring impact with your customers. And very often what people tend to do is they measure things once they're coming out, not on the way in. So if you take a measurement of something on the way in, then you can remeasure that on the way out when you've finished or completed your course or whatever you're doing. And then you've got somewhere to show that you went from and to. So let's say you take a measurement of the, what level of confidence do you have? I do this. So this is in my book, actually. I always say at the beginning of the book, on a score from 1 to 10, how confident do you feel that you could win awards right now? And, you know, people usually when they're doing my training course, they're like 3, 4. You always get someone who thinks they're a 9, but most people think they're sort of in the low numbers. And then on the outside, when we come out the other end, I say, well, how confident do you feel now that you could win awards? And they're all coming out 8s and 9s and 10s. So I show the measurement of the impact of my course collectively.
And so what's so curious about that is it's not even, you know, it's not like a DNA sample, like, or a blood test or like that. It's just like simply a subjective, personal measurement. And we do this all the time in Wellness Pro Academy, where, you know, it's like, what's your energy on a scale of 1 to 10, right? How well are you sleeping on a scale of 1 to 10? You know, how much, just check in with your body, like on a Thrive scale, 1 to 10, where 10, like you're thriving, you have amazing energy, you feel incredible, like you're full of ideas, you wake up positive, it's easy to jump out of bed, you're well rested, like that's 10. What's your Thrive? And like 0 to 1 is like you just really are dragging. So I love to point out that we're already doing this, but if we can actually, and I'm really hearing you on the recording function, that we might be doing it, but we might not be recording it. We might not actually be tallying, writing it down, saying like, okay, I have the numbers on every single person who comes. Well, in Wellness Pro Academy, we teach a club model. Like every person who comes into my club, do I have the 4 entering? Do I have their 3-month? Do I have their 6-month? Do I have their 9-month? And then do I have their 1 year for the annual membership?
And the great thing is with that, it's not just useful for awards, right? It's useful for all kinds of things. It's useful on just taking data capture of, well, how are my clients actually feeling right now? Is it working what I'm doing? Do I need to change something? The way that we suggest to do it is to take what we call an impact survey collectively. So if you survey all of your clients, and it doesn't matter if there's 2 or 200 of them, if you survey them all, and in that survey, you have, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, how is your sleep since you started the course? How is your personal stress? How is your financial well-being? Whatever it is that you find that you focus on, that you want to see coming out the other end, ask them a question about. And then you get collective results as well. So then you can start giving bigger measurements in your award entries, but also in all your marketing. So you can say, I don't know, 85% of our clients said that after 3 months, they are getting better sleep. So, whatever that is for you, and it's different for everyone, I'm sure, but that's gold for awards, absolutely gold. So I fully encourage, and everyone can do this. It's just taking a little bit of time out for reflection.
And I love what you're saying is like, it's not just going to help you win awards. Like this becomes your marketing, this becomes your customer service, this becomes your feedback loop for how you think big, test small, fail fast, learn always, and keep making your user experience. And I think this is where all that work you've done in customer experience and how that's integrated is just such gold.
Yeah.
So how, as a judge, do you know if what someone's telling you is true?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, some awards do ask for proof of certain things. So you might have to submit your accounts, things like that. But the vast majority of business awards are going on trust. So for me, my favorite awards are the ones that actually where there's a two-part process. So one part is written entry, and then the finalists come to a presentation, they present to the judges. So you actually get to ask them questions and you get involved and you can eyeball them.
You can tell in the interview.
Exactly. But
especially,
to be honest, you can tell, I mean, an experienced judge will be able to tell even in the write-ups, but you want to make sure that things match. So if you've got things on your award entry that then when I go to your website is completely differing, then I'm going to question that. But usually you'll find people may, you will get some award entries where they're inflating what they've achieved and things like that. But if you're, as the judges are experienced, and we've got benchmarks to compare it to because of everyone else's entries, you kind of know what the norm is and what's outside the norm and what to expect from that as well.
Okay, got it. So you, on your website, you say Rockignition is like rocket fuel. It powers you to reach heights you never believed possible. And this is something that I noticed because in running Wellness Pro Academy, and I've worked with wellness pros for well over a decade, is that this idea of needing someone to recognize them in order to actually amplify their work, right? Or to potentize their work or to hit a new level of impact. So if we just look like at the hierarchies of impact, for them to actually hit another hierarchy of impact, there needs to be self-recognition, but then there also needs to be some external validation of that recognition. And I'd love to hear like what you see in that, especially for, a community that, what I find is highly skilled, like the wellness pros and the healers, the naturopaths, the functional medicine doctors, the holistic physical therapists, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And how highly skilled these people are at deep healing, at like cutting edge work that often the science hasn't even caught up with yet, right? But they're often working in this little teeny tiny bubble with their clients, and there's not a lot of external reward. There's often not even that much to present on their website because they're so busy working one-on-one with their clients. So how would you talk to someone like this?
Well, I think the difficulty is obviously, and I know this from my own experience, is that one of the things that we have difficult is we don't really talk about our clients. So as much as we're overjoyed for them, we want them to make sure they take all the credit and all the shine is with them. And we're just here to offer them a great service. So we don't really talk about it. So when you have also clients yourself where you feel that you don't really want to shout about them and how can you get recognition yourself and that kind of thing, I think sometimes you just got to be a bit more creative around it. You don't have to put names in. For example, you can anonymize, but I think if you can scale up what you've achieved as well. So if you think, well, actually, I've actually helped 10 people now to get better in this particular way. So then actually you're talking about numbers of people and percentages and groups as opposed to one-on-one. But I think as well, it's about niching down into different categories as well of awards. So if in particular, I would say the US-based awards have a real slant for lots and lots and lots of different categories so that you can niche into them. Whereas the UK awards tend to go more on the event side of it. And so they have less categories to keep the event running smoothly. And it's a slightly different approach. So what I would suggest is if you look at some of the US awards, like the Stevie's Awards, they're called the International Business Awards, the Globee Awards, the Titan Awards, they have so many niche categories that actually it's not always about looking for a category that describes you. It's about looking for a category that describes the impact you're having.
Subtle
So
difference.
look at the
Huge.
impact you're having.
Yeah. So what is the big difference that you see in that?
Sorry, in the type of awards.
Well, the impact you're having versus describing you.
So it might be something like Woman of Achievement or Maverick, or things like that. So it's not necessarily your job title, like it's not what you're necessarily looking for, but it's more something that you can show. Yeah, okay, I've been a bit maverick because I show that I've done this, or I can show that I've made an achievement because this is what I've done. So it's more the outcomes than the kind of label. If you like.
Yeah. Yeah, I could so get that, especially with words like maverick, where it's like they come in all shapes and sizes and often not like the TV version of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's lots and lots of different categories like that. There's also things like categories for within types of industry as well. So there may be wellness industry type categories. So it's having a look around. When we're working with clients, there's literally so many thousands of awards in the world that when we're working with clients, for us, what we would do is assess them first. So look at what they're doing, look at their business, look at what the competitors are doing, do some analysis around the awards industry, and then match make them essentially with the right awards in the right categories and the right budget, etc. And in doing that, you find some really unusual awards out there, but that can really, bring you into a new community of the audience of that awards as well. That's the great thing about awards. You can actually choose who you want to get in front of by entering those kind of awards.
I mean, there's so much right there, right? There's the ecosystem and the networking around the award itself and who you meet on the path to that. Yeah. And then I know when you and I talked previously, like there's so much around being an award-winning like an award-winning healer, an award-winning author, where there's buyer confidence, there's consumer confidence because of the award. Will you speak a little bit to what you've seen in that with consumer confidence, or however you term it?
There's a lot of research all the time. So we do our own research and we look at the other research that's out there in the world that's showing trends and changes in what makes consumers feel confident, what helps people to pull the buying trigger. And a recent piece of research shows that I think it's 85% of people just want to see both now awards and reviews to believe and trust that a company is credible. So it used to be just awards, then it was like reviews are really cool, we all trust reviews, then it was like we don't trust reviews anymore, people make them up or buy them. So now we want to see more awards, and actually the two together can be a really powerful force. So getting some customer reviews or Google reviews or anything like that on your website can be a great way. It doesn't have to be hundreds, it can just be a couple of really good testimonials, well placed with stars and all of the shiny stuff, but with some credible awards to go alongside. Then when people are browsing around and looking at, should I go with this person or that person, then when they're looking at your business, then it's a great thing to see that you've got both, and that really does help with that kind of trust process.
Right, so it starts to have an amplifying effect when they
absolutely
together.
They work together. The other thing I would say is don't get too hung up on or worry too much about what the actual award says, because sometimes people say, well, I don't want to win an award for, for this, I want to win an award for that. But actually you can promote the award however you want to with your case studies and with your stories and what you've done and why you're an award winner. So it doesn't have to always just focus on the specific thing you won that award for.
Yeah. Any recommendations for how to start writing case studies for especially for wellness pros that have done a lot of work over time?
Yeah. Well, there's in the book, actually, there's a digital workbook that's free that you can download, and then that starts taking you through all the different pieces of content that you can start writing. For me, I think take a very basic framework. Do not overcomplicate it. Aims, actions, achievements. What were the aims? What were the actions? What were the achievements? And you've got a lovely case study right there. And if you can bring that together with something, a nice photograph or, something like that, then it, that's really enjoyable for the reader as well. So like I say, you can use this on all your marketing and sales material, your awards. There's so much more maximizing you can do with that.
So I know people work with you and your company one-on-one, but that we also spoke about that you are launching your online walkthrough course, which I know is perfect for the wellness pros at Wellness Pro Academy. Because they're DIYers, they're lower budget, they're just, really the true healers in their communities. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about what that course is going to be all about so that we can promote it with a link and help people in our community take advantage of your insane wisdom on this topic.
Brilliant. Well, so it's called the Awards Accelerator, and it's a program that I've run for many, many years. And I put it on pause last year just because I was so busy doing other things. I had a little break from it. But we're relaunching it to start again in January after Christmas, ready for the run up to the big awards season that starts around February. And it's going to be an 8-week course of it's just a couple of hours a week. But I will walk you through every single part of what it takes to win awards. So building case studies, gathering impact, gathering qualitative and quantitative impact, understanding the awards, building yourself a strategy. So how to PR them at the end, presentations to the judges, every single part of that. So it will be online on Zoom, and it's live with me.
Can you talk about a few case studies of people who have been through the accelerator and what, the ones who've really done the work and what has happened?
Yeah. Well, actually, we used to run it as a one-day course and pack it all into one day. And honestly, my brain was frazzled, and I'm sure theirs was by the end of it as well, which is why we've broken it up over a number of weeks now. But it tends to work really, really well for entrepreneurs, people who or assistants of entrepreneurs as well, who know how the business runs and they can get involved as well. And it works. But we also do it for corporate teams as well. So in marketing departments and PR departments. So it's really, it kind of benefits everyone. We've got lots of testimonials and reviews you can see on the website, but in particular, ones that stand out was, I had one client actually who, I just love it when people measure things because it just gives us the data straight away. And in her business, they had been entering awards for many years and not really getting anywhere. So often getting to the shortlist, but never really winning. So she did the course along with some team members. And then they measured the data of all of the awards that they entered. So then they worked out, basically, they ended up with an 85% success rate. So they won 85% of the awards they went for, which is a really high success rate.
Wow.
Because even the best companies in the world don't win everything, So they did. So that was really lovely. It was always good to hear that back. There was another lady who actually came from a dental practice. And they hadn't really got involved in awards before, but she'd been tasked with, this was her job. Mm-hmm. Now she needed to do this, wearing many hats, as a lot of people are in small businesses. And she was really, really delighted because they ended up winning 5 awards, including a really prestigious one from the City of London, which she said was going to make a huge difference to their business. So there's a lot can come out very quickly with awards, which is why we're starting it when we are, so that then everyone who then goes through it can actually be building up towards entering specific awards that will be opening in February and March. That's when the award season tends to start around the world. And so they can get their outcomes out of it then quite quickly as well afterwards.
And what do you find, for a solopreneur as opposed to a company with a marketing team, what is the time budget that you recommend?
Yeah, it sort of depends on how naturally, we're not all writers. Not everyone enjoys writing. Not everybody enjoys gathering information, gathering data. So it kind of depends on how pre-prepared you are. Some solopreneurs say, oh yeah, I've got it all. I've got tons of stuff already here that I can start. Yeah. So it sort of depends on where you're already at. I think the best advice I'd say is even start thinking now, okay, if I could just win one award, which award would that be? Is there an award I know about? Could I go and have a little Google? We've got awards on our website as well. Because then I'll look at the criteria in that award. I'll look at what they're looking for early, and then I can start working towards it. So that's kind of where I try and get people to, is pre-planning ahead for the awards they want to win, not waiting for the awards they want to win to be a week away from the deadline and then scrambling to try and get everything ready. And that's where they fall down. Unfortunately, as a judge, I would say probably 50% of the awards of the entrants you see not win could have won. But the only reason they haven't is because they either haven't prepared enough information or evidence, or they've entered the wrong category. But they're not bad businesses. They could have done really well, but they walk away disappointed because they haven't given it the time that they needed to give it to actually come out with a winning entry.
It reminds me. I was talking with my my neighbor friend. He's 15, and he was holding this. It's like a Burton stick board. It's like a really old fashioned Burton snowboard where it just has the string attached from the top to the bottom. And I was like, "What are you doing?" You know, because it's like, well, in any case, there's powder in the mountains right now. He's like, "Oh, I'm returning this board to Gage." And I was like, "Oh, that's a cool board. Where'd you get it?" And he's like, "Oh, we won it at a raffle." And then we started talking about the raffle. He's like, "Yeah, his parents have this strategy where they spend $200 on raffle tickets and they always win a bunch of stuff." And I'm like, "I've used that strategy. It works every time." And it's like, invest up front.
Yeah.
Right. Have all your bases covered.
Yeah.
And then see if you win. Don't just buy
exactly.
one ticket and randomly throw your hat in the ring. You're going to lose.
That's it. Exactly. If you rock up late and you do an overnight, "Oh, I've lost some sleep last night writing my entry," it usually shows at the other end.
Well, I just love that you're opening the course again for people who are more on the DIY end of things. I hope that by mid 2024, we can also hire your team to help us.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Well, my passion is to see other people reach their potential. That's what I enjoy. And I love working with entrepreneurs. So it's a real pleasure I get out of that. So I'm looking forward to it. And it'd be lovely to meet some of your wellness coaches as well.
Yay. And I just want everyone to start by picking up Donna's book, Win.
Yeah,
with an exclamation point at the end. Yeah, raise your profile and grow your business by winning awards. I've got to say, in the beginning of this interview, when we talked about like people kind of waiting to get recognition, waiting to get crowned by other people, like the more I talk to you and go into this, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of me, and that's not how this is played. Like there is a game, there is a rule book, there's a series of intentional actions, there's preparation, there's editing, revision, there's collection of data, editing, revision, presentation, with all of it. And so I'm just really grateful that you have paved the way and that Daniel's been talking about your work and giving it a lot of exposure. It's really helpful, I think, especially to the wellness community.
Absolutely.
The people who are
and also get more women into awards as well, because there's definitely not enough, and there's plenty of awards out there that they could be winning. So we need to put ourselves forward and champion each other to do that. Absolutely.
So in terms of the first place, and the last question for you is like the first place people should start to look for awards. I know on craftedbyaugust.com, you have the free awards list, and there's a bit of a tool to go through so that people can figure it out. Starting there, any other recommendations?
Yeah, so we're actually just in the process of having a new website, which is launching in a couple of weeks. But at the moment, you can still go on our website, and we've got an AI tool on there as well. So you can ask questions to our little AI chat, and it will come back with some knowledge and information for you as well. So you can challenge that with your questions. And then there's awards lists on the website, which tell you lots of the different kind of credible awards, just suggestions of those on there. But we also have a few resources on there that you can download for free and you can have a go at. One that's really fun to have a go at actually is a scorecard called What's Your Awards Persona? And so you can answer some questions on there and it will tell you what your persona is. So you kind of understand yourself a bit more before you even go in to the awards.
Yeah, I used that tool. It was really insightful. And I was like, okay, I had no, you kind of know yourself.
There's lots of free resources there. So it's a good place to start and follow the content in there and then get the book. And like I said, there's a digital workbook that goes with it. And if you start working through that, then you can have some great outcomes from that. And then we'll give you the link for the Awards Accelerator. It's not quite on the website yet. It's about to go up later this week. And we'll be launching it in the next couple of weeks as well.
Yay. Thanks, everyone. This has been Donna O'Toole with win, exclamation point. That's the name of her book to check out the awards. It's crafted by August.com, and her site is Donna O'Toole, OTOOLE.com. Thanks so much, Donna.
Thank you. It's lovely talking to you. And good luck, everyone.
Are you a podcast listener ready to guide your wellness business to more profit? We have an exclusive offer just for you, introducing our Unique Abilities Profit Consultation. Sign up today at wellnesspro.academy/unique. Don't miss this opportunity to unlock your profit potential. During this personalized consultation, your expert coach will guide you to discover just how much money you're leaving on the table from an outdated business model. Say goodbye to trial and error and hello to tailored guidance that leverages your unique abilities. Your success coach will work closely with you to create a winning strategy that aligns with your strengths and vision. Don't let the challenges of running a wellness business hold you back from more profit any longer. Up-level your leadership with our actionable strategies. Overcome hurdles. Receive innovative solutions. Take that crucial step towards building the profitable wellness business you deserve. Schedule your free Unique Abilities Profit Consultation today. But hurry, this exclusive offer is only free for our valued podcast listeners. Don't wait. Unleash your unique abilities and unlock your true profit potential. It's time to make your mark in the world of wellness. Sign up today at wellnesspro.academy/unique. Namaste and have a great day.